The title of this lesson might kind of throw you off. Scaling versus scaling. And it is just scaling and scaling. It's not a difference in pronunciation. It's not a difference in spelling. I know a lot of you probably read it several times trying to figure out why it was written there twice. And the difference is in how Sketch treats an object when you scale it up. And there are two different ways to scale an object, and you get two very different results. So let's go ahead and delete our second little AlphaMask experiment over there. Let's save this document, and then let's close it. I want to open up a brand new blank document to demonstrate this. With Sketch selected, I'll go to File, I'll say New. And now on my new blank canvas, I'm going to create a circle. I'm going to hit O for the oval tool. I'm going to hold Shift and create a circle. And now I've got a circle with a stroke around it. Now I know we haven't talked about fills or borders really, but I'm going to choose a border color. I'm just going to go with a red, make it a little bit thicker. And then I'm going to choose a fill here. I'll go with a lighter shade of pink, and I'll keep it at 100% opacity. So really just a border along with a fill. Now, the reason I put a border around this is because borders are one of the most clear and obvious manifestations of the problem with scaling something by grabbing the handles around it. If I need to make this twice as big, and I just grab the handle and make it twice as big, I've got an issue now. My border didn't get bigger. The circle got bigger, but the border didn't get bigger. That can be a problem. Sometimes it's not a problem. Sometimes that's exactly what you want to do. But if you want to scale something up along with its effects, along with the shadows, with the glows, with the borders, you don't just want to grab the corner and stretch it out. I'm going to hold Option and duplicate this, and I'm going to stretch out the one on the right and make it about twice as big. Now the one on the left, instead of dragging it out, what I'm going to do is choose Scale on the toolbar at the top. Make sure we have our circle selected, and we're going to click on Scale, and that allows us to type in a new size. We can type in a new width, or a new height, or a new scale percentage. I'm just going to use the scale percentage and do 200%. When I choose 200%, I like to hit Tab so that way the other numbers update and I can make sure that everything looks good, and then I click OK. Now this time it scaled everything up. It scaled the effects up. It scaled the border up. So I actually got my visual shape at 2 times its original size. Now you'll also find if we close this document and visit our demo content, I'm not going to save this. I'm going to open up our demo content here, and within our demo content there is a document called iPhone iOS keyboard. And when you open that up, this keyboard is not the right size. This keyboard as a group is 640 by 430. Now, since we're designing for an iPhone 6, we actually need a width of 750 along with a proportional height. Now, Sketch is going to take care of the proportional height for me, but I do need to make sure that the width is exactly 750. Now, the thing is, if we zooming in on this, you can see that there are shadows underneath the buttons. There are some subtle effects here that make the keyboard look more three-dimensional. Those effects should be scaled up as well in our case, because the keyboard visually is scaled up along with those shadows. If I just stretch it out, 1, it's a little tedious to stretch it out and make it the right size. 2, my proportions aren't locked, so I am going to click on the lock on the inspector between my width and height. That's going to lock our proportions down. But the point is, as I scale it up and up and up, my shadows don't scale. I can make this gigantic and I still have teeny tiny slivered little shadows. So that's not doing what I want it to do. So what I do want to do is with this selected, I'm going to go to Scale. For width, I'm going to type 750. I'm going to hit Tab to make sure that the height updates, and it turns out to be 117%. So for those of you who are curious, the iPhone 6 screen is 117% the size of the iPhone 5 screen, if you care. I'm going to press OK now, and now I've got it. Now I've got a scaled up keyboard for the iPhone 6, and my shadows and everything has scaled proportionally, so the whole thing is just larger. I didn't selectively make things larger. So that is the difference between scaling by dragging and scaling by using the scale tool on the toolbar. It is a very useful tool, and we will surely be using it again at some point.